Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Julie Bartkus, and I'm delighted to be with you tonight for the Childcare Business Success Show. I hope you're as excited as I am to be here, and I've got a special guest, Mr. Troy Howard, who will be joining us. And tonight's topic is all about those dreaded reviews. You know, how many reviews does it really take to sink your heart? Does it take 1, 2, 3 to really, crush your heart, ruin your day? I want to talk to you tonight about how to transform those negative reviews into positive reviews. So what can you be doing proactively so that when a negative review hits, it does not crush your childcare program, crush your spirit, crush your vision, all the things that, really make you soar. So if you're tuning in, I'd like you to say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from and say who you are and where you're from. And we're also going to be doing a prize giveaway. Now, my Chief of Happiness, Loretta, is not here tonight. However, we still promise that we're going to be giving away some brownies, and maybe our special guest, Troy, will help me pick our winner for this evening. But we're still going to be giving those away to you so that you can walk away with some yummy dessert. So if you're here, say hello. I see some of you joining on. And if you've had negative reviews and those negative reviews have just really crushed you, let us know. Let us know that, yeah, you got that 1 review, you got those 2 reviews. And even though you could have 20 positive reviews, what does your mind still go to? It still goes to that 1 negative review. And I'll never forget hearing Ellen DeGeneres talk about this. She said that she could be in a room full of fans, and they're all laughing at her jokes and everybody's having a good time except for that one guy. And that one person is the one person who's saying negative things. She says, where does my focus go? My focus goes to that one guy. So it is human nature to really focus on the negative things that we hear. Our minds are really attracted to that negativity and we're pulled into it. So tonight we want to talk about really transforming those negative reviews so it's not crushing or debilitating for you in your role in your childcare program. So if you're here, say hello. Hey, Deidre, nice to see you from sunny Southern California. Deidre, and I know you've had some dealings with some reviews, so you'll probably be able to chime in a little bit. Anybody else here? If you're here, please say hello. I'd love to hear from you. Oh, and how do you get brownies on our show? Well, brownies are going to be based on interaction. So whoever we hear the most of, whoever we hear the most from is going to get the brownies. So if you are here, say hello. We'd love to hear from you. All right, negative reviews. Hey, Heather, nice to see you from Tennessee. Awesome. I could show your comments too on our screen. So there's Deidre. Oh, and I could even get your picture up there tonight. Look at that. And there's Heather. And I remember being, if anybody's ever watched Romper Room, I always remember the Romper Room lady never saying my name. So we want to make sure we say your name. So if you're here, say hello and we'll give you a shout out as much as we possibly can, especially before we get going. And if you're digging the topic, you can let us know that as well. So negative reviews, how do we transform these? Well, to me, there's only a couple different ways or a couple different things that we can really do. And it's all about relationships. So if you have positive relationships built with the parents, those negative reviews that you get are not going to be as crushing as if you're not putting any positivity into relationships with the parents who are your customers. So keep that in mind. So it's really about how you, number 1, respond to reviews. Number 2, the relationships that you're building. And number 3, what kind of positive reviews are you putting out there or word of mouth is getting out there about you and your program that will counteract those negative reviews. And big companies know this. So when they're getting a lot of negative PR, they'll do something purposefully to interject a lot of positivity into their marketing campaigns or into what's going on. So those are really the 3 things that we're going to be talking about this evening. Plus, I went online and I pulled some reviews. And I don't know if you've ever looked at reviews that are online just about different childcare programs, but some of them are really gut-wrenching. And you could even be a center where you've got 20 fantastic reviews online, and then all of a sudden you get that 1 review, that one-star review, and somebody says, if I could rate you less than a 1 star, I would do that. And it's just somebody taking out their emotional stuff online. How do you respond to that? So we're going to dive into that. Who's ready? Anybody else want to say hello? Hey, Diana, nice to see you. from New Hampshire. We're going to be going to Boston in October, so hopefully we'll see you there. All right, Diane, nice to have you here. Anyone else like to say hello? And we'll give you the opportunity to say hello tonight too as we progress. So, and also, you know, we're new with doing this show, and I just really love the idea. But if you have any ideas for us on how you would like to see the show progress, I really see this as being like the Ellen or the Jimmy for the childcare industry. So if you have any ideas for how you would like us to really progress with this show, to make it better, to make it funner, to make it more beneficial, please let me know your comments. I do read through every single comment, whether it's live or on the replay. Hey, Lala, nice to see you here on the show. Lala, nice to have you. Also, here's Alexis. Hey, Alexis, nice to see you here. Isn't this cool? And your faces get broadcast right on the screen. All right. Whoops. Hide. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to bring on our special guest, and we're going to talk about reviews. And let me move Troy up to our studio here. Hey, Troy, nice to have you.
Hey, Julie, it's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You know, this is only our fourth episode of the Childcare Business Success Show. So I was really thrilled when I talked to you about the idea and you said, yes, when can we do this? When can I get on with you? And I met Troy back, a few years ago at an event that was by a local marketing company here in the Chicagoland area. And I was really taken back by what Troy was sharing about reviews online. And Troy, and actually it was your father, came up with this whole idea about how to really infuse organizations and companies with more positive reviews so that when you do get a Yelp review or a Google review that just rips your heart out, there's something else that people can look at. And I think one of the biggest mistakes people is making with their reviews is not responding. You know, when you get a review, whether it's positive or negative, there's no response. So there's no human connection with that review. So Troy has a big solution for you along with his company called So Tell Us. And Troy, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your company does?
Oh, yeah, thank you. So first off, I love what you said. You definitely should be responding to reviews. But a little bit about our company is we started this system or product about 3-4 years ago, and it has worked out really well. We help business owners and childcare centers basically capture not only written reviews, but video and audio reviews from their parents, and they can do it in less than 30 seconds. And they can do it right there on site with the parent when they're the happiest. They just had a great moment with one of the teachers, or their kid just came out and, was super excited about something they just did in the center. And that's when they can capture a video of the parent saying, oh my gosh, you do an amazing job with my children, and I absolutely love you. And you capture that, and then it becomes a part of your marketing. Automatically. And that's what our system does. It basically helps you capture video, audio, written reviews. It takes those, it markets them through your website, through your social media sites, through the search engines to help combat any negative reviews that are out there. And then it helps you generate more referrals from your parents as well. So it helps you, grow your business by spreading the great word about what an amazing job you're doing. And that's our business in a nutshell.
And the really cool thing about what this does is that it puts a face with the review. So instead of just reading a review on Yelp or reading a review on Google, to me, what So Tell Us does is it comes and it overpowers all of those other reviews because it is putting a face to the words that are being spoken about the childcare program. And it gives that eye contact right into the computer screen so that when parents are searching for that quality childcare, they could come across the video reviews. And I know we've had clients who use So Tell Us, and they're posting them all over Facebook saying, oh, another 5-star review from So Tell Us. And your reviews are actually getting even ranked currently in the search engines. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about it, we're delivering thousands of videos every single month to Google that they can index and rank, and they love us because of that. So our reviews are getting, I think last month I was just looking, and our reviews last month got over 1 million views.
Wow.
So Google loves us because we're the only video review system in the world.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. So now, you might be thinking, okay, Julie, I'm tuning into your show and you're going to be selling us something. Well, the cool thing is we're not going to sell you anything. We're actually going to give you a gift. So you're going to want to stay tuned for the entire show because there is a gift coming and you're going to be able to really, if you like what you're hearing from Troy and like what you're hearing from me, you're going to be able to actually just grab the service and it's going to be a gift to you for 30 days if you want to try it and test it out. So just to let you know, I'm going to, just address that right here and right now. So there's not a big sales pitch coming, but we do have it as a gift for you if you'd like to check it out and use it to really accelerate, how you stand out in your community. And I think video is a sure way. And that's why we're coming to you live via video instead of just writing about this, is that we want to have that personal relationship with you. And that's why we're going to continue to do the Childcare Business Success Show week after week, because we want to build it. And if you can't be there live with person, meaning if you cannot go and knock on parents' door saying, we are the best, here's why, here's what our customers and clients have to say, video is the next best thing, and audio then after that. But there's nothing like having that eye contact in the camera to really say, oh, here's who they are, here's why we love them. Right, Troy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're absolutely right. In fact, it's interesting because in the next 2 years, they say that 80% of the internet will be video traffic. So 80% of what's streamed through the internet is going to be all video. So nobody really cares about written reviews, and you can't transfer emotion through writing as easily as you can through video. That's why we're doing, like you said, it's exactly why we're doing video right now, because we want to connect with the, everyone out there, and it's the easiest, fastest way to do it. And everyone believes it. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that's why we've been collecting video testimonials since I've been speaking now for about 20 years. And I remember years ago, just walking around with my flip video camera, and anytime anybody said anything positive, it was like, hey, wait, can you say that again? And I would get out now you don't have to, you just got your cell phone. And what you have makes it even easier. But I would just say, hey, can you say that again? And your testimonial is really worth gold to me, so can I capture that? So that's how we've been able to capture so many testimonials over the past so many years. But now there is the fact, and we're going to address this, and if anybody's got some negative reviews out there, I know nobody does, right? No. Chances are, if you've been in any business or in your business for any period of time, you've got some negative reviews. And I did pull some from online, and Troy and I are going to put our brains on some of these negative reviews and let you know how we would respond to those. And I'm going to share with you a couple from my clients as well, and share with you the responses that we wrote. But one of the biggest things you have to do is really write a response to that review. Now, Troy, with your service, since video is so valuable, I know that you have an app that you put right on the phone, and instead of walking around saying, hey, let me get that just on a video, now you can open up that app and say, hey, let me capture that, and you just open up your app and ask them how they would rate you, and they could say 5 stars, you check on that, and then you go at their testimonial, right?
Yep, that's exactly how it works. It's all done through an app, super quick, and it takes away all the work out of it. You capture it, and you don't have to worry about what happens next. It's all done for you automatically.
So let me ask you this: when there are negative reviews on Google or on Yelp, can somebody take one of those objections? And let's say they have a positive review that addresses the exact same thing. Can they put in that video link in their response?
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things that's really important when you're responding. You don't want to get in a fight with the person, over there, but you do want to provide some of that proof out there. So you can absolutely say, here's what someone, a parent just like you said about that very issue. And boom, you put the link in there, and people can check that out. And then they're going to make that decision. But what's going to be more powerful, that written review, negative review, or another parent on video saying how awesome you are?
Right. So keep that in mind when you write your reviews. If you could include a link, even if you get a review from an employee, a disgruntled employee, can you have employees who are your raving fans have their videos lined up, whether you use Troy's service or not? Put that link in there. His service makes it super easy though. But you could put a link in there and say, hey, we understand and we hear what you're saying, but we also want to let you know what these 20 other staff members are saying about where they work. So it just really counteracts the negativity. And Troy, have you heard any studies in terms of how many positive reviews it takes to counteract one negative?
I haven't heard a study directly for that. That's a really good question, actually. But I do know that just one negative review online can actually decrease the number of people that will use your business by up to 22%. So one negative review can make a big hit to the business unless you can counteract it. So I think, just my opinion, I would say for every negative review out there, get 5 or 10 really positive ones. To prove that that's the minority, that one negative review. And I think that's a pretty good formula right there, just to say, hey, yeah, sure, I may have 1 or 2 negative reviews, but I've got 30, 40, 50, 100 5-star reviews. And people will believe that.
Yes, yes. And I think people know the power of reviews too. So often if you have a staff member who wasn't happy with something, or a parent, they're like, oh, the ultimate payback. I'm going to have the last word here and go online and leave a review. And it leaves our owners and our directors very, very scared sometimes. And I've gotten calls, whether it's at 11 o'clock at night or midnight or 2 a.m. saying, somebody just went to the website and left a negative review. What do we say? So I want to share with you one from one of my clients. And you heard from Cindy a couple of shows ago. And I'm going to read one of the reviews that was posted on her site, and then I want to let you know how she responded. And Troy, you could feel free to chime in, but I helped her write a response to this one, so we put a response together. But one of the mistakes that we're making with reviews is not addressing them at all. Positive or negative, even if you get a positive review, thank you. Thank you. It's such a blessing, honor, privilege, to partner with you to provide quality child care for your children. I look forward to our continued relationship. You state a positive review, and I know that when I look at reviews, whether it's for hotels or event spaces, I'm always looking at not necessarily what did everybody say, but what was the response? So what did the facility come back and say in return? Right, Troy, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the biggest things you can do is respond, because if you think about it, just think of it as as a review is almost like a person-to-person conversation. So if I were to say to you, Julie, you are absolutely amazing and I love everything you do. And you sat there and just looked at me and said nothing. How awkward would that be? Right. People seeing that conversation would be like, what's wrong with her? But yet we do that with reviews. Someone says something amazing about us and we don't respond at all. And you're absolutely right. If you can just say like, thank you so much. I love working with your kids, and you get your personality to come through there, parents go, yep, that's who I want to do business with. So responding it's one of the most important things you can do.
Yeah. And I also, before I get into some of these reviews, I want to let you know too, one time I was checking out hotels. And there was it was like an oceanfront hotel I was looking at staying. I think it was in the California area. I love waterfront whenever I can be. I think you like the water as well, Troy.
Absolutely.
I've learned about you. But I remember reading the reviews, and one was about bed bugs in the mattress. And the hotel came back and they responded to every single review. And I said, isn't it going to be interesting to see how they respond to this review? So I checked back and they came back with a response that says, yes, we hear you. Yes, we understand there was a problem. We identified that there was a problem and all the mattresses are being replaced on such and such date. So everybody who comes and stays at our hotel is going to have fresh new bedding to enjoy. So does that change your impression? Absolutely. For just to be able to read about how much a management team cares, that they would respond to those reviews and take the feedback to heart. And that's the thing. If you get a review and there's some truth to that review, that is your opportunity to acknowledge there's room for your program to grow and to step into that space and say, hey, thanks for that. This is the improvement that we're going to be making based upon that review, so that we can even, offer a more amazing experience to everybody who comes here and enrolls in the future. So keep that in mind. So it doesn't just have to be death to you because you got this horrible review. It's also an opportunity to build a relationship, not just with that person, but with future people who are going to be reading all of those responses. So keep in mind that the way people respond is more important, if not just as important, as the review itself.
Absolutely.
And think about this yourself too, when you're out there looking at different places to stay, or where you're going to vacation, and if you're reading reviews, whether on Expedia, Google, or Yelp, what are you looking at? What is it that's really mattering to you? Is it what the person's saying or the response? So keep that in mind as you progress. All right, so let's hear one. I'm going to read to you, and these are a little bit long, but I think they will benefit you. Oh, and it's printed in a little bit small here too. Who did that? Okay. All right. So here's one review. Okay. So this childcare program got a lot of positive reviews, but it had one review that left the owner stumped, calling me saying, how do we respond to this one? And anytime a review is written, I'm typically getting calls from our mentorship members saying, okay, how do I respond? So this review went something like this. This daycare center is a sham. We were pulled in by the need for care for our children when I went back to work last year. We knew that we could not afford to pay daycare for 2 children, and we thought with having our son there previously, we could work something out with the owner. We let her know, going back, that we could not afford to keep them there. She let us know that we could apply for assistance, and once we were approved, we could work everything else out. We had a previous balance of $95 for March before I had my second child. We did as she recommended and applied for assistance. We waited for a whole month and repeatedly asked if we should pay what we owe, and were told not to because it could mess things up and they may have to pay us back if we overpaid. We were denied. The day we found out we were denied is when everything changed. We go to pick up our daughter from there, and when we checked out, the bill was over $1,000. We were shocked. We let the owner know again that we could not afford that amount and that we could attempt to make payments. She agreed, and we had to pull our daughter out of there. We were then bombarded by phone call after phone call by the owner asking us to pay and finally threatening us with collections. We are now in collections and will be suing the center for harassment. Please do your research and make sure you can afford her. She is not a good woman like she makes herself out to be. Whew. You want to see how we responded to this one? All right. Hey, Brandon, glad that you're here joining us. If you're viewing in or tuning in and you want to hear how we responded to this one, give me an oh yeah in the comments. And I'd love to see that you're here. And as you know, if you know me, I'm motivated by interaction. So let us know. Plus, the person with the most interaction gets brownies after this evening. So make sure that you participate when you can, say hello. And I'm going to give you the response that we wrote, and you can let me know what you think of this. And Troy, you can let me know what you think about this as well. Hey, Deidre, good thumbs up. All right. So here was the response that we cultivated. The response says, I am sorry you feel this way. Our learning center prides itself on being professional and having a top-notch atmosphere for the children. I took some time and carefully reviewed the notes I kept from our conversation, and it's clear to me that we do not agree on how the events you have stated played out. I don't want to air every detail of our conversation here because I'm a firm believer in client confidentiality, but I'm happy to review them with you in person. My entire goal was to contact you so we could work something out and keep your child enrolled, and at the same time, keep the account from going to collections. But after trying to work this out with you continuously with failed payment arrangements and then my calls not being returned, I had no choice but to turn the account over to collections. As you noted in your review, I did try to call you several times. Unfortunately, as a business owner, I'm not in the position to run a successful program and tell clients not to pay, as that would have a detrimental effect on the children and families we serve. It is my hope to always work things out one-on-one with my clients. Going forward, I am thankful for the lessons this situation has taught me, and will make sure that all agreed upon payment arrangements with parents who are facing a hardship will be documented and signed with reasonable dates in place so payments do not get several months behind. I do hope you will remedy your account situation quickly so that we can both move forward. God bless. So, what do you think of that? And Troy, if you have anything to say about that. So, you could read the review, and here's what I love about this one is that you read the review and you get one impression and your mind starts thinking, oh my goodness, this place is horrible and they're going to overcharge me. And then you read the response and then you have a totally different perception. So was your perception changed during that, Troy? And all of our listeners who are viewing in, was your perception changed by the response? So you could let me know what you thought of it. What do you think, Troy?
Yeah, I think they did a great job in that response. They did change my perception of that one-sided view of a center that's just hungry for money and doesn't care about the kids, to someone to a business owner that really seemed to care and tried to do everything they could to resolve the issue with the parent. And they did she did a very good job of addressing the issues without being combative and like, no, you're wrong. What you're saying is not true. Because you have to think about the perspective that a person who's not in that situation is going to get from reading that response. Are they going to feel like when they're done reading that response that if I have an issue with that center, is this how they're going to treat me? Are they going to respond to any concerns I have, which is, no, it's not our fault? Or do they really care? And I think that response showed that she tried to do everything she could to resolve the issue, and she learned from it. And so I think it was a great response.
Fantastic. And I actually wrote this one. So
good job.
But I want to point out a couple of things about the response here. First of all, when we say, I'm sorry that you feel this way, we're acknowledging, hey, you're feeling a certain way. The second part of this is really some key words, that we're a successful program. So we incorporated some of that into this response, that we're a successful program, that we are going to document things better next time, that we're not going to let accounts get so far behind because we're putting faith in the parents. So when we wrote this review, we really came from the perspective of understanding it from the person who was writing, the review perspective, saying, oh, she's upset, she's angry, she came in owing $95, now she owes well over $1,000. How's she going to deal with this? But most importantly, it was a real place of love in our hearts to say, how do we help parents in the future not have this happen to them? And that's how we really structured the response, was to say, you know what, this happened, yeah, and we really had faith in the situation, but we know that we can't enable parents to get so far behind next time. And also putting in there that we're a successful program because of this, this, and this, and this, and we pride ourselves on this, this, and this, and this. So keep in mind, and what I really wanted you to hear was how a perspective can be transformed by that one review. Now imagine if you had a video link in there over to Troy's So Tell Us, and it said, okay, here's my review, or here's my response, and go listen to some other parents talk about their work with us. And here's a link where you could access several videos. So that would be pretty powerful, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want everybody to think about that. All right, Diana, let's hear what our viewers have to say. Diana says, yep, a good response. Awesome. And Deidre says, I like how she noted how her policy changed due to the review without actually saying anything about what the parent failed to do. Okay, good. Thank you, Deidre. Troy, you might have to help me decide who gets brownies based upon the name that you hear the most tonight. So,
All right. I will do that.
These brownies that we give away are like the yummiest brownies on the planet. So everybody always wants these brownies. So, we'll have to make sure. All right. So let's take a look at another review. Okay. So this is another one from our client, one of our clients, and this is one that I believe she wrote on her own. But I think she did a pretty good job. So this review was crazy. This review was from an employee who said, how can you treat an employee the way you did? How can you talk behind someone's back, being a director at a job, making an employee feel so bad? How can you treat an employee bad that was willing to help you with anything? You think you could talk to my people any type of way and call them this or that? But what it's about is really about you not wanting to take in the truth. You hang up multiple times and make up false information. You're fake, phony, and very unprofessional. And this is one of our multi-site clients. Woo, tough one, right?
Yeah, that one's bad.
Bad. So after we consulted, this is what the owner wrote. She says, hello, we are very sorry to hear that you had a negative impression of how our childcare and its management treat its employees. That being said, after a careful and thorough investigation by our corporate office, Our records indicate that you are not currently, nor have you ever been, an employee for our center or our other locations. We are an equal opportunity workplace, and we hold our policies regarding fair treatment of employees by either corporate management or fellow staff to a very high regard. We consistently update and provide training for these policies to remain effective, to limit cases in which an employee may feel they were in some way wronged by the actions of another employee, and is stated as such in our employee handbook. While you may have not been an employee with our company, we do sincerely wish you the best for your future endeavors. Ooh. So what do you think? Perspective change?
Yeah, that's a great response, and it hits because this is a great. Well, first off, I'll give you two things with this one. One of our centers, a client of ours, they had an employee go and blast him, and for something, again, very similar to this review, right? You're a horrible company. I would never put my kid there. I hated working there, and what they had done previously is every one of their employees, they got a review from the employee, a video review, saying how much they loved working at the center. So their response was, when they said all these horrible things about it, they said, well, again, we're so sorry. This was actually, we understand you were an employee of ours, but, we don't understand why that, your opinion has changed of us. In fact, here's what you said about us previously. And they gave the link to the review of, showing of how much they loved working there. So that's one thing. And on this one, what I loved about it is because sometimes it's not an employee who, in this case, like they weren't an employee, but sometimes it's a parent who gives you a horrible review, but they aren't really a client of yours. And this response was perfect because you just say, exactly what you said was, we've checked our records and we don't see that you ever were an employee. If for some reason we're mistaken, please contact us and let us know. Same thing. We've checked our records and we don't show that you ever had a child in our center, but, please contact us if for some reason that's not correct, or, so I think you did a great job, or whoever wrote this did a great job of addressing, you're not an employee. So you basically invalidated everything you just said about us. And now let me tell you why we do an amazing job with our employees and why our employees love working here with us. So they ended the whole thing with a ton of positive, proof of why they are a great place to work. So again, that's an amazing response.
Yeah, I agree. So let's see what some of our viewers have to say. Okay. All right, this is Lisa. Lisa says people often leave owing money. If we try to collect, they often call our licensing office to make a fake complaint. How do you handle that one? Ooh, that's a good one. I'll give my 2 cents and then Troy can chime in too. But one of the biggest things that I do not see our childcare owners, and this is where we talk to our clients about this as well, is really investing time in building positive relationships. The more of a positive relationship that you have built with your client, when something negative happens or a negative review strikes, the less likely people are going to believe it, and they're going to have more faith in you than they are going to have in the negative review. And the positive relationship doesn't have to be anything but maybe, you have a get together once a quarter with all the parents, or you call them occasionally just to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. You come on Facebook and you do a live video saying, it's been a fantastic week with your kiddos. I am so thrilled that you entrust them to our care. It could be very simple. It could take you just a few minutes. But that, to me, is one of the biggest ways to counteract negative reviews, especially when it comes to the impact that it's going to have on your business. With relationships, everything is easy. Without them, everything can become incredibly difficult. So as I stated when we first started the show, one of the strategies is to really be building those positive relationships. And Troy, you can let me know how you feel about that one as well, if there's anything you'd like to chime in on regarding Lisa's question here.
Yeah, I mean, right there, I was actually going to say at some point during this that a lot of times in talking with our clients, when they get a negative review, it's because people owe money. That's the whole reason why there ends up being a negative review. So I always suggest, put policies in place to try and prevent people getting too far in debt, if you will, to your business, because the farther they get into debt, the worse it's going to be in the end. They're going to do everything they can to try and ruin your reputation because they owe you money. So try to prevent that as much as possible. And then again, be proactive in, getting as many reviews as you can from the parents, because it's very easy when they go and make that fake complaint to say, well, I don't understand, because here in this review, you said we were amazing, and you can counteract that. We've actually had clients that were going to lose partnerships because of a customer complaining about them. And they were able to say, no, that customer said we're amazing, and they're going, oh, okay, well, we understand that now. We understand what really happened. So getting those positive reviews ahead of time from the parents before you get into that situation, and then don't let them go too far down. But I agree with you on the relationships, because the better your relationship is with everybody in your center, the less believable those negative reviews are going to be. It's easier to believe something bad about a business than it is to believe something bad about a person. So like Julie, if someone says something bad about Julie, I'm not going to believe it because I know Julie. I have a relationship with Julie, right? So, but if it's just a business, it's so much easier to hate a business than it is to hate a person. So have that relationship on a personal level, and it won't impact you as much.
That is an absolutely fantastic point. And another thing our owners really need to be doing is you need to be setting your boundaries proactively in terms of how far behind you're going to let these parents get. And we advise our clients, they're paying for the up and coming week. So they're not behind, they're actually ahead with how they're paying. And you can actually use a system, whether it's ProCare or whoever it might be, Easy Care, to really help you collect on those payments before the parents even start their care for that week. But really start thinking of yourself as exclusive, as elite, and people pay you in advance for the amazing service that you render. So start pulling it back. And I did a video not too long ago about this makes your staff angry. Well, this also makes your parents angry. And what is this that I'm talking about? When you enable either parents or staff members to be emotionally dependent upon you in one way or the other, you're actually creating reasons for them to be angry or reasons for them to be resentful. So really be careful about the reality that you're creating within your childcare program. If you have firm boundaries set in terms of when parents pay, granted you have a big heart, but in order to do the best that you can for the kiddos in your care, the money has to flow in. And granted, we don't want this to be about money. You're in business for a reason, and the money does matter. So in order to be able to take care of the kiddos, the money has to come in. But if you enable those parents to say, oh, well, let's work something out, or you could pay for the past 12 months that you owe me, should never, ever get to that. We've actually had clients who tell us that parents owe them $10,000, $5,000. So really decide right now, what is your boundary that you're going to have in place when it comes to payments? When you enable, you're going to create an environment where they are going to be able to be angry at you. They're going to be upset with you because now you are not doing enough, or you did something wrong when all you were trying to do in the first place was bend over backwards for them. It never works out. It creates anger and it creates resentment. So really keep that in mind as you trudge forward. All right, let's hear what Deidre has to say. What about recording a response to a negative review yourself and posting a link in your response? So I think that's perfectly fine. You could just, you could record a response. What do you think, Troy?
Yeah, I think that's, that could be good. Now, you just want to be very careful and make sure that when you do that there's no resentment or edge or anything in your demeanor when you record that response, because a lot of times our body can portray a different message than maybe what we're really saying, like verbatim. So just make sure you watch it afterwards and maybe have someone else take a look at it too, to make sure that your body's not saying something different than what your words are saying.
Yeah, like you're not gritting your teeth and you're, cutting red. Yeah. And if people tell you, oh my goodness, you have such a calming nature, and to be in your energy, it's just like so relaxing, then I would say absolutely record a response. Yes. So pay attention to what your energy is projecting, because often we're feeling one way inside and then our energy can totally project something else. So keep that in mind. And like Troy says, have somebody else watch it as well before you post it as a response. So I hope that helps, Deidre. Okay, let's see. Oh, Deidre wrote that a couple times. All right, anyone else? Oops, Cindy's here. Cindy says, hey, Deidre. They're having a little conversation among themselves. Heather says, here's Heather Young. Heather says, good stuff. Thanks, Heather. I'm so thrilled that you're here. Now, Heather, I think you're one of our New Hampshire folks, right? I saw a message come through. I owe you a response. Okay. All right. So good stuff. All right. So let's hear a couple more of these reviews that I pulled online. Who would like to hear some more reviews? Give us an oh yeah in the comments. And, if anything, the negative reviews that I pulled will help you feel much better about the reviews that you get or the lack of reviews that you've gotten, because some of these are pretty bad. And there's a lot of different situations that I could share with you, even staff members who were out to lunch together, talking negatively about their childcare program or where they work. And sitting behind them was one of the parents of a child who goes to that center in one situation. In another situation, sitting behind them were, a couple tables down, but within an earshot was somebody who was actually considered working for that childcare program. And she came up to them and said, hey, I was thinking about working at your center. Should I go and apply for a job? And they're like, oh my goodness, no, I would not apply. If I could do it again, I would not go there. So really think, and this is another strategy too. If there is truth to your reviews, if there is really stuff going on with your staff, if there's really stuff going on your customer service level, use it as an opportunity for growth. And if you don't know where to start with that, I encourage you, after the show, we always give 5 people a free consult with me. So shoot me a private message and let me know that you want to chat, because one of the biggest gifts you can do for your childcare program is to have a transformation happen. And I could guide you through that. We could give you some steps, but if there's truth, you really got to look at that. It's not enough just to pull the curtains closed and say, okay, nobody's going to see that mess behind there. It's kind of like, having, like I'll be transparent here in my house. When I'm traveling, my dishes pile up. I don't do them, and I just throw a towel over it or something, and then I just imagine if company comes over, something's going to stink, and they're not going to know quite what it is, but they're still going to be able to smell it, right? We do the same thing energetically in our childcare programs. We're like, don't peek behind the curtains. It's like, all right, I'm going to cover this up, but all you're going to see is here and what we're going to show you during the tour. Well, guess what? They're going to come into your childcare program and they're going to discover what that is. So you really owe it to yourself and to your vision and what you want to bring to life to really have it be so that everything is just out in the open. There's nothing you feel that you have to hide. You can be totally transparent with everything. All right, so we're getting lots of thumbs up here from Lisa. So I'm putting these up here, Troy, because remember, we're picking for brownie winners. So you have to, kind of earmark here. Heather, thumbs up. Diana, all right. Oh, and here's Cindy. Cindy was a guest on our first show, and she's one of our Childcare Program of Excellence mentorship members. She says, I was always afraid to have a negative review on my site, but I know that I am skeptical of my companies that are always perfect. Does a bad review really hurt? Well, Cindy, this is a good question for you to think about, because, we shared one of your reviews on here, but has it hurt you, or has it strengthened your relationships? But the thing that Cindy is doing, and I want everybody to note this, is that she is responding to reviews. So whether they're positive or negative, there is a response that goes in there. So Cindy, you could think about this. But Troy, you could let us know too, from your perspective, a negative review, because I know you study this up and down with So Tell Us, but does it hurt? And how badly does it hurt?
It does hurt. So like we talked about a little bit earlier, it can, one bad review can cost you up to 22% of business. I mean, it can really affect people out there, if you're not combating it with positive reviews. Now, to Cindy's question there of displaying those reviews, those reviews are going to get displayed on Facebook or Google, and there's nothing you can really do about that. Google is most likely not going to take it down. Yelp's never going to take it down. In fact, they'll promote it most likely, and even Facebook. But when it comes to like your own site, if you're talking about your own marketing, no, you never want to promote a negative review through your own marketing, right? I mean, that's like asking someone who hates you to stand up and say how much they hate you in front of all your potential customers. So you never want to promote those negative reviews out there. You only want to promote your very best reviews, but people can find those negative reviews, so it's not horrible to have a couple of them, but you need to respond to them. Absolutely. And then, and of course you want to try to negate as many of them as possible. So, I mean, some people may say, well, I don't trust a business that's perfect and that has no reviews. And I get that to a point. I mean, and we're like, for example, we're a review system, right? And we have 2 negative reviews out there. One of them is on Google, and it was a customer that, again, got in behind in owing money. And their way to retaliate was to write a negative review about us, and we responded to that immediately. The other one was actually on the App Store. And as this is literally what they wrote. They said, my friend told me about this really cool system they're using. And so I went and downloaded it, and I found out that I have to have a subscription to the service to even use the app. And they're like, that's ridiculous. And I thought, I'm like, well, this actually isn't that bad of a review, because they said their friend told them to go get this really cool system. So, but it's like, wait, why are you writing a negative review about a system you've never used? So those are going to be out there. You're going to have to deal with those.
So my response in that case would have been like, thank you for your comments. I'm so thrilled to hear that your friend is using the system and recommended us highly to you.
Exactly. That's exactly what our comment was. We're like, and I think we even went on to say like, hey, we would love to give you a free trial to even test it out, so that you can see, have that same success for yourself. But so yeah, the negative ones are going to be out there, and but don't feel like just because you don't have negative reviews like you should. No, absolutely not. I want you to have 99% amazing reviews, and then you'll get that 1% naturally out there.
And did you hear about, I should have had this ready, but this just came to mind too. There was this one restaurant that made its mission to get the worst reviews online. Did you see that? Where they wanted every customer that came in, they said, please rate us as like a 1. Let them know that we had, there was too much food on your plate, whatever it was. So they gave them all these different things that they could review them on, and say, our mission is to have the worst reviews. I have to find that. That was really good. Do you remember seeing that one, Troy?
Oh yeah, it was an amazing marketing strategy, because they got so much publicity over it, and the way they had their customers do it, like you said, it was like, give us a 1 star because the waitress was way too nice and friendly to us. And so it was all these 1 stars, but in actuality, they were giving very positive experiences, and it just went viral. I mean, it went crazy. It was a great marketing strategy. Now, I'm not going to suggest that to everybody,
right.
But it worked really well, in that situation.
And that was a restaurant. They made it their mission, so the restaurant business is a little bit different than our childcare industry, yes. But unless you're going to have somebody full-time who could do that, to say, okay, rate us as a 1, and here's, some of what we'd like you to say, then yeah. That's good. But otherwise it's like, but I did think for the restaurant, it was brilliant. And, I think probably most everybody saw that. So Cindy says, so here's Brandon. Brandon had a little tear guy coming up. Brandon, that's nice. Okay. Cindy says that it hasn't hurt that I know of. And like I said, Cindy has done this right. And she's been working with me for, I don't know how long has it been, Cindy? 4 years, 5 years, longer. But my advice is always to respond to those reviews. And that's one thing that Cindy has been consistently doing, is responding, positive or negative. So check your reviews. If they're positive, respond. All right. And what does Deidre have to say? I usually don't insist on payments when people leave, because I don't want negative review or a call to licensing. So there's a little bit of fear going on there with Deidre's strategy. Okay. Oh, Cindy says 6 years. Yep. 6 years. Yeah. And you'll hear more from Cindy. Watch our reruns. We have a new YouTube channel that we just launched that we're airing all the reruns of the Childcare Business Success Show on. So make sure you look up Childcare Business Success on YouTube and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss one single episode. And then you could watch the reruns at your leisure. So like I said, with Cindy though, it's just been because she's been doing things right. And then with Deidre, I think the strategy is to pull ahead to where parents are paying ahead of time as much as they can. And I know sometimes with subsidized care, it's a little bit difficult, but you could still set those boundaries in terms of how far do we let them get behind. All right, let me read a couple of reviews here. All right, I'm gonna hide Cindy's. Oh, and if you're just tuning in, say hello. I'd love to hear from you. All right. How negative of one do I want to read? Okay. All right, so here's one. So I would recommend for everyone not to bring their child to the center. The teachers and staff are great, but the director is horrible and she likes to lie. I love the children and parents. I was an employee, but they let me go for the dumbest reason, and it's just crazy. Everyone's getting sick. Everyone's getting sick. One of the toddler has led crazy, just crazy. The center needs to be shut down. I had a few parents that doesn't like the director and wants her gone. And now you know why. Now, what I would also say in this review, bad grammar, bad spelling, so people are going to take that into consideration too when they're reading these reviews. I mean, they're going to be looking at like, who's posting this review? So what can we say about this one, Troy?
Oh, God. My initial one is like, I just want to be like, well, obviously I don't want you teaching my children because you can't even spell, but that's the wrong response. Don't do that.
Right.
So yeah, that's a tough one, and again, I think it's just addressing the issue, looking at the positives they said about, that was there, and then coming back with, if there is, like you said, if there is any truth to any of the things, then you had to fix some problems and talk about that, addressing the issues. Employees are always the most difficult because people want to believe, like, oh, well, this person worked there, so they know the inside track, and so you want, in my opinion, you want to kind of address it, but, again, not bring anything into it that any details about the employee. Because that's going to get you into trouble, and that's going to, because what you don't want to do is ignite them so that they just go on a rampage too, as well. So
you don't want to get into a back and forth kind of thing happening at all. You want to be able to have your response be the final response. Like, what else can they say to that?
Yeah, exactly. So what would you suggest on this one?
I would suggest, so on this one, I really like the idea of having the video links from your really happy employees to be posted in your response. But I would also encourage them from an employee perspective to say, if this was a disgruntled employee, you could state that this was a disgruntled, and you encourage any employee or any parent to come on in, visit, and to make their own impression, and that you'd be happy to spend time talking about your vision and to really showing them around your program. So I think just by you being willing to build that relationship with whoever's reading this is going to set a good positive tone, have them come into your program and say, oh, I saw your response online and I just wanted to have a cup of coffee with you.
Yeah, and that, whatever. I was going to say, and that response you just said is so important. Inviting people to come in and see for themselves is really, really important. We had one of our clients who she did that. It was a pretty bad review, and she's, and they talked about how it was an unsafe environment for the kids and all these horrible things, right? And she just said, hey, you know what? I invite anybody in the community to come in and take a tour of our facility and see how, wonderful we are and how we treat our kids and how much our teachers love them. And it actually increased business for her because people did show up and did do the tour and did sign their kids up. So definitely that's the ultimate response is in any of those situations where they're calling you out on that type of a situation, the safety of the kids, the facility, the this, whatever, just say, hey, you know what, come in and we would happily show you, the environment that these children are in.
Yeah.
And they can't argue that. They can't fight that and say, well, because now you're not hiding anything, and you're inviting the community to be there. So I think that's one of the very best responses you can give.
And I think the really cool thing that could happen too is that you could have other people go to your defense on some of these reviews and say, hey, I know Miss So-and-so, and I have a relationship with her, and I know this would absolutely not be true at their childcare program. So again, build those relationships. And if you can't be building relationships in person, build them via video, which is why I have Troy here, because he makes your video incredibly easy. So let's take a couple moments, Troy, and let people know about the gift that we have in store for them and a little bit more about your service, because at a click of a button on your phone, you could start capturing all the positive reviews, getting 5-star rankings and video testimonials that you can post right online and share those links in LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. So, and I know, Troy, you could tell us a little bit more about that, but I also want to hear just a little bit of the story. So how did Sotellus come to be? And why is it that the passion is there for creating these positive reviews?
Wow. So I'll try to summarize the story very quickly, but it really comes from our own business. You know, we're a family-owned business. My dad, my brother, and I started it 19 years ago. And, you know, back in, if we all remember 2009, right, you know, after the market crash and businesses were failing, and our business, our main business at the time was helping businesses grow and do marketing and things like that, websites. And so businesses all across the United States were suffering, and we were looking to, you know, keep our business going and grow it. And so we were out there marketing like crazy. And our marketing wasn't working as well as we wanted it to. We were putting a lot of money into it, and we were trying to, you know, grow the business, and it just wasn't very effective, the marketing that we were doing. And we made one little change in our business. And that one little change was that we stopped talking about our business. And we went out and we actually took one of our employees and we flew him around to our clients, and he interviewed all of our clients. And he asked them to share their story about how our marketing had helped them grow their business and change their lives. And he came back with these amazing stories, these amazing videos. And we scrapped all of the marketing we were doing where we were talking, and we just started promoting our customers' experience with us. And we immediately turned our business around. We literally generated like $500,000 in recurring revenue in a 6-month period in our business. I mean, like doubled the business in just 6 months, just because we stopped talking about our business and we let our customers talk about our business and promote it. And we realized this is like the best marketing we've ever done. You know, it was more effective than anything else we had done. And then we said, okay, well, how can we take the same marketing and create it for other small business owners? You know, because not everyone can take an employee, throw them on a plane, fly them around the country, you know, and get videos, or even just hire a videographer, right? And go around and get videos from their parents. That can be pretty expensive. So we literally built this platform. It took us about 2 years to build it. And we built it because we wanted to give other businesses the ability to capture a powerful marketing in 30 seconds or less and be able to compete with these other companies out there that can spend $10,000, $20,000, you know, on creating video marketing for themselves. And it has been amazing ever since that. I mean, once we launched it, it just skyrocketed. I mean, right now we are in over 17 countries. And it's growing like crazy just because of the automation and how easy we're making it for businesses to capture the very best marketing possible, which is your clients, and then market with it. So that's kind of our backstory. I mean, it literally, it sounds kind of cheesy to say it, but like Social Proof and our customers saved our business in one of the worst economic times, you know, we've seen in this country in like 20 something years.
Wow. So I can see where the passion comes from.
Yes.
So with your app, one of the things that I like is that at a push of a button, you're on YouTube. And you could tell us all the different platforms at a push of a button you're on. It's been a little while since I've looked at it specifically because you might have expanded it. But tell us, at a push of a button, once you get the review, you can push a button and here's where you're going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So literally you just capture the review through the app, again, about 30 seconds max. And then what our system does is it automatically takes your 4- and 5-star reviews and it puts it on your website, which is really important to be a part of your marketing on your website, because you don't want people coming to your website and then leaving to go check out reviews about you. You want them to see the reviews on the site and make a decision right then, you know, to book a tour. and come in and check out the facility. So we put it on your website automatically for you. Then we push it out to your social media sites. So your Facebook business page, to your Google Plus business page. With a click of a button, it can go to Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest. So it becomes a part of that social media marketing, which is really important for your customers and potential customers, and also for the search engines. And then the next thing we do is we optimize those reviews and we submit them to the search engine so that they show up on the first page of Google. So if someone does say, oh, well, I'm going to go check out that center, and they do a Google search for it, your positive Sotellus reviews are right there on the first page of Google. So you're controlling what people see about you when they do those Google searches. And that's all automated for you as well. And then the system also follows up with asking for referrals from your parents. And also giving out like special offers. So we have this really cool part of the system where when a parent gives you a review, it'll ask them, hey, would you mind sharing this special offer with your friends on Facebook? They literally click a button, and it's going to take the review they just gave you, combine it with an offer of maybe a free tour or, waiving the enrollment fee, whatever your offer might be. And it's going to post it on their Facebook page in front of all of their friends. Cool. So now their 500 connections on Facebook can click it and say, oh, I need to, someplace to have my kid go. They claim it, and it immediately notifies your business saying, hey, Bob just claimed your offer, and he, here's his email, here's his phone number. And by the way, he was referred to you by Sally. So where the referral came from. And now you're just calling up, and you're not trying to sell Bob. You're just saying, hey, Bob, I saw that you claimed our offer for the free enrollment. When can we schedule your tour? And you're having them come in. So, and it's all automated. That's the key. Is we know as business owners, you're super busy. You're trying to grow and run your business. So all we ask you to do is ask for the review part, and then our system automates all of the rest for you.
Awesome. So our gift to everybody who's tuning in, whether you're here live or on the replay. Now, if you're here live, you're going to get the chance to win brownies. So stay tuned. Our gift is to get the system in your hands so that you could try it out yourself for 30 days and see how it works for you. So we will post a link for you in the comments, but do you have that? What would be the link they would type in, Troy?
Yeah, so the link you would type in is www.sotellus. So now to remember that name, think of like love our service, Sotellus. That's where it comes from, sotellus.com. And then just do / and just do Julie. We want to make it as easy as possible. So tellus.com / Julie, and that will get you to the page. Now, normally we don't give a free gift like this. So there is a promo code that you have to put in to do that. So do you want me to give that to them right now, Julie?
Go ahead and give them that code as well.
Okay, awesome. So when you land there, you're going to see that normally we charge a $3.99 setup and $99 a month. If you put in the promo code 30 free, so 30 FREE, and it's going to be all one word, 30 FREE, and then hit apply. That will waive the setup fee, and it will give you the first 30 days absolutely free to just try out the system.
Ooh. So who's going to take advantage of this? If you are, give us an oh yeah. But I hope that you do at least try it and see, because it does take a lot of the work out of your social media efforts. It automates a lot for you, and then it kind of makes it really exciting to start capturing those videos. So you can start walking around just with your phone. You put the app on it, and you walk around with your phone and say, oh, who's going to say something positive today? And let's capture that on video. And you could set a goal to see how many different things you could capture on video that are positive about your childcare program, whether it's a raving employee, whether it is a raving a parent or client. So it really automates a lot. And we know how valuable in this industry our time is. And I know that there's not enough time. So this is one thing then that you don't have to think about. And like Troy said, push up a button, it's on different social media platforms so that it goes to work for you. And I love the idea. And I'm not sure if this is a new feature, but is that new where you could push it out and have an offer attached?
Yes, so that's one of our new features, and it has been working amazing for our clients.
Like
just to give you an idea, one of our clients who's a chiropractor, he did like a 30-day just free trial. And in that first 30 days, he got 40 reviews from his patients. 5 of them shared the offer on Facebook. And of those 5 people that shared it, 12 people came in claimed the offer, and became new patients. And it was worth about $20,000 in revenue for him. And he was just blown away. He's like, are you kidding me? Like, I haven't even paid for this yet, and you already earned me $20,000. And I think in childcare, it's the same thing of like, give them that offer to get them in the door to, because the crazy thing about the referral side of it is like, if you were to ask me right now, Julie, hey, who do you know of your friends that's looking for childcare? I don't know. I'm sure there's probably at least 2 or 3 people I know right now that are looking for childcare, but I don't know that they need childcare. Right. But if you were to say to me, hey, Troy, if you just click this button, any friend that needs childcare right now is going to get a, whatever the discount is, or, whatever the offer is. Why wouldn't I click that button? And now you have a chance of me, instead of me saying, no, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. If I click that button, now you have the chance of 2, 3, 4 different people maybe claiming that offer off of just my friends, that I never would have gave you just because I don't know them that well. Right? I don't know they're looking
right now. Sit there and say, hey, who needs childcare? So this just at a click of a button makes it super easy. And then you get to remember, thank your referrals, whether it's a card or something, but thank your referrals. And then also, a click of a button, it's done. Now, have you ever tried kind of put a manual hours on this in terms of how much time you're actually saving our owners, our directors, or other owners of businesses, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours? Because I'm thinking, to go around, because if you record a video manually, then you have to either upload that to all the different applications. You have to kind of know what you're doing. You have to write different responses to put in with that video to each different platform, So I'm just thinking it's got to at least be 2 hours, 3 hours? What do you think?
Yeah. You're easily saving 2 to 3 hours worth of work. What we've done is, instead of doing it on an hour basis, we looked at, if I were to pay somebody to come into my business and do this for me, what would it cost me on a monthly basis? And realistically, if you literally paid someone to sit there and do all of it, the SEO and all that, it's like $3,000 a month in services that is just automated, for $99. And it's just astronomical when you think about that. And that's not including actually someone out contacting your customers, your customers for referrals and asking them for it. So yeah, you're literally saving thousands of dollars by just automating that process on a monthly basis.
I think so. Oh my goodness. So this is a tremendous value for tuning into our Childcare Business Success Show. Let's go ahead and give that link again. So it's www.sotellus.com/Julie. And the promo code that you need, because they don't do free trials, but they're doing it for us. And what's that promo code again, Troy?
It's 30, like as in 30 days. So 30 and then free, FREE, and it's all one word. So if you do it separate, it's not going to work. So 30 free, and the word free is all lowercase. So that'll give you that 30-day free trial.
Awesome. So let's hear what our viewers are saying. All right, let me back up here. Okay, so I think we left off here with Cindy. So Cindy says, oh, great point, talking about taking the emotion out of your response. It's okay to take 24 hours before responding, breathe, pray, and call Julie. Thank you. I like that. Okay. Lisa gives us a thumbs up. And this is when we asked who's going to take advantage of our free gift. Maria, awesome. Deidre, Brenda. Okay, Maria's here again saying, I will. Cindy, oh yeah. Okay, Maria wanted the link again. And remember, we're picking brownie winners here. And we're going over on our show, but I think it's all great information. And if you have any questions for Troy, now is a great time to post them, and hopefully we could keep you just a couple minutes longer. I know you've been very gracious with your time, so I appreciate it. So we got the link again. Deidre says, interesting. Oh, Deidre says, done, signed up. All right, Deidre. Awesome. So Deidre's an action taker, so we like that. Okay. If there are any questions for myself or for Troy, now is a great time to go ahead and post those for us. And if you are listening to the replay of this, I also encourage you to type in your questions, your comments, your concerns, and we will come back and I'll try to tag Troy in some of those so he can respond as well. But if there are questions that you have for us, please feel free to leave those, whether you're tuning in live or to the replay of the Childcare Business Success Show. All right. Well, I think we had a pretty good show here. We got some good information out. Is there anything that you feel people need to know, Troy, that we haven't let them in on yet?
I think we've covered pretty much anything. I just wanted to throw out there, like you said, if there's anybody who has any questions on reviews or referrals or reputation, and you want to just hit me up and ask me, I am more than happy to give out any information I have and to answer any questions I can. I really want to be a resource to your community. Whether you're a client or not, it doesn't matter. I love talking about this and I love helping people with their reputation and growing their business. So I'm more than happy to share anything I can with the community.
Yeah. And remember, like I said at the beginning, if you're thinking about negative reviews, make sure, number one, that you are writing responses to your reviews. Number two, make sure you are building positive relationships with your parents. And number three, if there's anything that you really need to address and in your heart of hearts, that, hey, this is true and we really do have an issue with staff, or we really do have an issue with how we're handling this or how we're handling this, take it as an opportunity for growth for yourself to say, hey, this is my time where I have to make some change happen. And if you need help in getting started with that, please shoot me a private message on Facebook. As a result of your being here live on the show with me, or even if you're tuning into the replay, we do give away 5 free 20-minute sessions with me. And I really believe that those sessions can totally transform your business. So I encourage you to take advantage of that, especially if this is calling to you or if you're resonating with what we're talking about today. And we'd really love to help you experience a total transformation in your childcare program, as we've been doing for almost 20 years. I don't know how that's happened. I'm like, wow, 20 years. All right. So Troy, do you know who our brownie winner is?
All right. Now I feel kind of bad about this because before these last couple of comments, I was going through actually looking at how many people commented. And so this is going to sound really bad though, but the person I saw that commented the most was Deidre. And then she's the last one who said, boom, signed up. And I'm like, oh, great. Now it's going to look like Deidre Run because she signed up for Sotelis. But honestly, before, I've been tracking it this whole time and she's commented a lot. So I think she probably has the most comments. So does that sound bad?
That sounds good to me.
Can I do that?
Yes, we can. So Deidre, how does that sound to you? So you are the winner of our brownies. I want to make sure our Chief of Happiness, Loretta, who couldn't be here this evening, is going to send you out those brownies. And Deidre, I think, has gotten brownies at least once before. So she knows how amazingly yummy those are. So congratulations, Deidre. You are being awarded the brownies for being the most active in our comments. And please note, there was no rhyme, rhythm, or reason why we picked you, except that your name resonated mostly in Troy's head and for being the most active participant. So we didn't count, so there was nothing official that was going on here. It was just like, yeah, we keep hearing from Deidre. All right, what does Deidre have to say? She says, thank you. And she says, yay, love those brownies. All right, yes. And here you go, Diana. Congratulations, Deidre. There you go. So we're going to be giving away brownies and other things on every single episode of the Childcare Business Success Show. Make sure you tell your childcare friends or anybody who you feel can benefit about the Childcare Business Success Show. We are committed to really making this an amazing show for the childcare industry, providing you with top-notch content and value and free gifts. So Troy, Howard, thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Thank you for having me. I love hanging out with you. So anytime, I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, I love hanging out with you as well. And from the first time I met you at Steve's event, I knew that this was something that we had to bring to life for the childcare industry to really help our owners and directors benefit from the service that you are so passionate about bringing to life. So I thank you for bringing it to life, having the vision, and just doing everything that you do to make sure our owners are well served. So all right, everyone, that's going to wrap up. Ooh, and we got Deidre saying cheers, and we got Cindy saying congrats, Deidre. All right, I'm glad you guys are all tuning in. Oh, good advice. Thanks to both of you. All right. And like I said, if you're tuning into this replay, so if you catch this after we wrap up the live broadcast, feel free to say hello. I will come back and read and like your comments so I can continue the interaction. Oh, and also I forgot to tell you this, is that we've got a closed and free Childcare Business Success group. And originally we were airing the show exclusively in that group, but we have since moved it just to our Childcare Business Success page and in the group. So it's basically available for anybody who wants to tune into the show. However, if you are inspired to come and join our free community, Childcare Business Success, it's our group. I'll post the link for you after we wrap up the live broadcast. I am going to do a raffle for another set of amazing brownies. So if you are not yet a member of that group, come, and you have to answer 3 easy questions to get into the group. but it's free. Come and join the group, and I'm going to pick another winner for brownies so that you can experience the yumminess. All right. So I will post the link for the Childcare Business Success group. And remember, if you want to consult with me, shoot me a private message. And don't forget to take advantage of Troy's gift, www.sotellus.com/Julie. And promo code Troy is
30 free.
30 free, and it's case insensitive, so small f is fantastic. All right, thank you everyone for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm Julie Bartkus, workplace transformationalist and best-selling author of Childcare Business Success. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be here with Troy Howard with So Tell Us. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.